Water technology, the basic introduction. Tanks, canal, dams, ponds, and constructions related to water are adopted from the technology simply known as water technology. Ancient Lankas were aces in this technology. They built all the constructions without the modern IT technology. All these constructions were made to save the water, to use it for agriculture and household activities. Constructions of tanks. Tanks were first constructed in the dry zone. The dry zone of Sri Lanka receiving rain only during a certain period of year is a common fact. This issue made the people have the need for storing water for day-to-day activities. As a solution, ancient Lanka started making tanks. Small tanks, dam constructed across a brook or a stream so water can be collected there. Village tanks, small tanks built in small villages under the leadership of the heads of those villages. Tanks and the kings who constructed it. King Pandukabaya, Jayavapi, Abhayavapi, Gaminivapi. King Devanam Piyatissa, Tissaveva. King Vasaba, Mayatveva, Manik Vittiveva. King Mahasen, Manihireveva, Jalluravapi, Kanuvapi. King Dhatusena, Kalaveva, Paudulakavapi, Mahadattavapi. King Parakrambabu I, Parakrama Samudraya. Large tanks. Not a single drop of water received from the rain should allow to flow into the sea without making any use of it. King Parakramabahu I. As population was increasing, usage of water too increased. Large tanks were constructed to store more water, and the water could be sent to smaller tanks too. Kings helped making these tanks. Two of the king are King Parakramabahu I and King Vasaba. It is said that King Vasaba was the first king to start making large tanks. Advantages of making large tanks. A huge volume of water could be stored. Small tanks could be provided with water from large-scale tanks. Flood could be controlled. Technology of construction, long canals developed. For your knowledge, Parakrama Samudra in Polonnaruwa is so far the biggest tank in Sri Lankan history. It is said that it was made by combining 5 major tanks. Barriers when constructing large tanks. It should be properly maintained. A very strong dam should be constructed. A suitable place should be selected to build it. Thousands of workers should be employed to construct it. Adequate amount of food should be provided to the workers. Key features of a tank. There are 5 main features of a tank. They are sluice, Bissok Kotua, breakwater, inner spill, outer spill. Sluice. It was made to let out the water from the dam to a canal. Most tanks had 2 sluices, the upper slough and the bottom slough. Bottom slough was created at the bottom of the tank so that all the water in the tank can be let out into the valley. This helped desilting the tank. Upper slough was constructed a little above the bottom slough. It was constructed to let a certain amount of water to a canal or a valley. Sluice Sorauva, bottom sluice Mada Sorauva, upper slough Goda Sorauva. Bissok Kotua. It is constructed to let the water which is stored in the tank out of it in a proper regulation. It is a part of a slough itself. It is constructed in a square shape from inside a tank very close to the dam. It is considered to be a unique invention of the Lankan irrigation technologists. Breakwater, laying stones on the surface in the inner area of the dam to prevent the dam from being washed away into the tank was known as breakwater. Inner spill, it was constructed to let the water in the tank from the other sources. A small pit has been constructed so that the silt that is carried with the water from outside is deposited there, preventing it from entering the tank. Outer spill, it was constructed to let the excess amount of water out. Aqueducts and dams. Aqueducts, a bund constructed across canals, streams, or river to block the flow of water and to divert it to paddy field or other sources. Dam, a bund constructed to retain water. There are two types of dams. They are makeshift dams and permanent dams. Makeshift dams, standing wooden poles across a current and blocking the flow of water with branches of trees, mud and sand. These dams eventually get destroyed in the next rainy season. Permanent dams, constructing using blocks of stone so that it is strong to withstand the pressure and to be protected from erosion. It is made to last long. Constructions of canals, an artificial waterway constructed to allow the passage of boats or ships inland or to convey water for irrigation is known as a canal. Canals are made for various reasons such as to carry water from tanks or aqueducts to farmlands, to carry water from an aqueduct to a tank or to a tank system, to carry water from one tank to another or to several tanks. Kings and the canals they constructed. King Vasabha, Alisara or the Elahara Ela. King Mahasen, Tilavatuka or Talavatu Ela. King Dasasena, Jayaganga or Yoda Ela. King Agabodhi I, Minipe Ela. Barriers when constructing canals. Just like tanks, building canals too had difficulties. Problem of variation of geographical conditions. Extremely accurate measurements of the heights of the land should be obtained from the beginning to the end of the canals, digging the canals, maintaining correct width and depth, building bunds. Quick reminder, R.L. Brohier's book, Irrigation System in Ancient Lanka, describes the challenges that had to be overcome and how they were overcome. Ponds were constructed for the purpose of storing water required for human needs. They were constructed by digging the soil and building stone walls around it to protect the banks from erosion. Ponds' purpose. They were constructed to store water for consumption. They were constructed for the proper removal of water. They were constructed to add beauty. They were constructed to keep the environment cool. Ways ponds were designed. Tunnels and drains were constructed to direct the rainwater into the ponds. Some ponds were designed to be filled with rainwater, while some other have been designed to be filled with water obtained from some source of water. Some were constructed by building stone walls on rock plains to collect rainwater. Ponds are made in various shapes too. Constructions of water gardens. These gardens had plants and trees grown. These gardens were used for the purpose of spending the leisure time or doing sports. King Mutta Siva is said to be the first king of Sri Lanka to construct it. The garden is said to be called as Mahameghavana, which later changed to Mahavevuna Gardens. King Devanampiyatitha later offered this garden to Arhat Mahinda and other bhikkhus. Nandana Uyana and Padmaswara. When Arhat Mahinda Thera arrived in Sri Lanka, there was another garden known as the Nandana Uyana, which was in Anuradhapura. He preached Dhamma in this garden, causing it to be considered as the place which made Buddha Sasana shine in this island. Therefore, it is also called as the Jyoti Gardens. King Kutanaka Tissa constructed a garden named Padmaswara. Types of water gardens. Royal gardens, gardens that were constructed for the royalty or for the royal family. Monastery gardens, gardens which were built to the bhikkhus for the purpose of preaching Dhamma and to engage in meditation. Abhayagiri temples and Jetavana temple's garden in Anuradhapura are good examples for these. Key features of water gardens: planning the garden to suit the nature, constructing a well-planned road system in the garden, beautifying the garden, creating a pleasant environment, maintaining the garden.